Hi guys, my name is Stephanie and today we're going to be going over how to repair wood rot and water damage around your home. For this video, I'm going to be using Abatron's WoodEpox and their liquid wood to repair the water damage on this column that you see here. As you can see, I've already removed a lot of the water damage and wood rot. And to do that, I was using a large screwdriver and a putty knife to remove big chunks of soft wood that was there before. This has been patched in the past by the company that painted my house. And whatever they used to repair this didn't actually hold up to the weather longer than 2 or 3 years. So I'm going to be using WoodEpox. It holds up really well to weather. It's a very long-lasting repair for any of your wood trim, your frames, your windows, your wood columns around your house. So I love this product. I think it's going to be a long-term fix for this column. So I started work on repairing the water damage on this column before I decided I wanted to make a video about it. So I'm going to show you here on the window trim how I was using a screwdriver to remove the soft wood. A large screwdriver like the one I'm using here is a nice strong tool that helps you remove that soft wood while also feeling around and seeing what is actually soft in your trim that you need to remove. The amount of water damage on my wood column was so big though, I was also using kind of a big putty knife to remove the big sections that were soft. And then I moved on to the smaller screwdriver to do all of the tiny detail work, the little bits of softness that needed to be removed. After I removed all of the soft wood around my wood column, I was ready to mix up the Abatron LiquidWood. So this is an epoxy resin that you apply over top of the wood. If you want to harden soft wood, you can use it to harden soft wood. Since I decided to remove my soft wood and carve fresh, new looking wood using the WoodEpox, I'm going to be using the liquid wood as sort of a way to harden all of the surrounding wood that's left behind and prevent it from softening in the future. I think Abatron also suggests that liquid wood is going to be a good surface for the WoodEpox to stick to. It acts as a primer for the WoodEpox, so always use both whenever you're doing any wood rot or water damage repairs around your house. To mix up the liquid wood, you need to use equal parts of part A and part B. I like to use an old container, mark a line on it with a pencil, and fill up the part A and the part B to the same line and pour them separately into a second container. You then have to mix that up for 1 full minute for it to become activated and let it sit aside for 5 to 10 minutes before you apply it to your wood. Then you get, I think, about 30 minutes of working time before that resin starts to harden. So if you have a lot of areas that you need to apply the liquid wood to, you do get a good working time with that. Once again, I'm back at my window trim repair to show you how I applied that liquid resin. So I use an old chip brush to apply that. It's just a nice cheap brush that you can dispose of after you're done using it. You can get them usually for like $1 at hardware stores. Make sure that when you're using that chip brush to apply the liquid resin, you touch every surface. You want it to soak into every exposed surface of the wood that you're going to be applying the WoodEpox to. You can also pour this directly onto certain repairs. So if you have a flat surface like a window ledge or something that you're repairing, you can pour that liquid resin right on top of it. So now we've caught up to where I've got to on my column repair. I have applied the liquid wood at this point. You can see how it's kind of got a shiny, darkened look to it. All of the exposed wood that you see there, you can see where it's kind of dripped onto the base of the column. I will be covering that up with paint though, so that's okay. So that liquid wood has darkened that wood and hardened everything that you can see exposed. It's going to give it structural integrity that it would have if it was the original wood. About an hour after applying the liquid wood to my column, once it had hardened up a bit, I was ready to go in with the WoodEpox. So since my repair is so large, this is going to take multiple passes with that WoodEpox. I'm going to keep layering on more, letting that harden up, and then coming back to see what areas need more WoodEpox. Soon you're going to see me make sort of a jig for carving that WoodEpox to be shaped like the original columns on this house. So stick around for that if you're having a hard time figuring out how you're going to get the column that you're repairing to match the existing columns. WoodEpox is also a 2-part mix, so you're going to need equal parts of each one. I like to get out what I think is going to be the same amount from each container. So right now I'm digging down about 1 inch into each container to get out equal amounts and mix that together. Another trick I like to use is to get out a certain amount from one container, turn it into a ball, and then try to get out a same sized ball from the other container. So it doesn't have to be a perfectly matched equal amount, but it needs to be pretty close. Then you mix that part A and part B together until it's one solid color. After it's thoroughly mixed together, you get about 20 minutes of working time before it starts to harden. You'll know it's about to start hardening to the point where you can't work with it anymore when it starts to feel hot to your touch. So it won't burn your skin. It's not that kind of hot, but it will feel like warm bread out of the oven or something. So you'll know you're about to lose your chance to work with it. Try to only mix up as much as you can work with in that 20-minute time period. So this batch is really big compared to what you would normally need to use, but I'm making a huge repair. This first big batch is going to be huge for me because I can basically stuff it into all of that void underneath the existing column, and I don't have to carve anything, so that won't take me very long. But in the future, I have to mix smaller batches to start doing the detail work and making it look more like the existing columns. When you're working with the wood epox, you can use your hands to apply it. You can use a putty knife. You can use the plastic spatula that comes with the kit. But it does make your job easier if you can get it nice and smooth before it starts to harden. So you can do a lot less sanding once it's hardened and you're ready to shape it into whatever look you need it to have at the end. So get the look of the wood epox as close to the way you want it as you can before it hardens, and then you have less sanding work later. Well, that base layer of wood epox hardened, it was time for me to make a template so that I can match the repaired column to the existing columns that were already there. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't just buy a new base for that column that I'm repairing, they don't actually make this base anymore. So this is a 30-year-old column. I looked all over the web for a base that looks at least pretty similar. I could never find anything that looked close enough. And if I were to replace all 4 of them, it would have cost me easily up $1,500 to $2,000. So it does not make any sense in my case to replace it. I need to repair it. I'm using the biggest contour gauge I can find on Amazon. So these are used by tile guys or trim work guys in construction, but it works for me for getting like the curve right when I'm trying to match up my repair work to the existing columns. It's still not quite big enough or deep enough for what I need to do, but I can go back and forth a couple of times tracing that onto my wood piece. And I was able to get a really good guide, a really good template for shaping that wood epox to match my existing columns. And now, as you can see here, once I've cut that out with a jigsaw and sanded it smooth, it's a really good match for my existing column. So I'm going to be able to use that while the wood epox is wet to carve it into the right shape. So for all of the wood epox batches that I mixed up after that, I was able to use that 1/4-inch thick plywood template as a guide to make sure I was putting it thick enough in certain places, that I was making sure that I was smoothing it out and making the shape as close as it could be before it hardened, because it's much easier to get the shape that you want when it's still wet than it is to do it by sanding it alone. So sanding it to the right shape would have taken me a lot longer. For a big repair like this with a lot of curvy details to it, this does take a lot of fiddling and going back and forth and letting the wood epox dry out before applying new. But I was able to get it to this this look right here. And as you can see on the left, there's a lot of texture over there still. So I'm going to add a final smooth coat, just a small amount of wood epox that I've mixed up, smooth out those areas. And once that dried, I sanded all of that restored area with 80 grit and 100 grit sandpaper. That was enough to give me a smooth finish that was ready for an exterior primer and then an exterior paint. And my final look for my column repair on my house looks very, very similar to the original column. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I could have fooled with it a little bit more and get it that extra 5% there. But you don't, unless you know that that column has been repaired, you don't walk up to my house and know that it looks a little bit different. It blends in. It looks the same as the other columns. So I'm very happy with this. And I'm very happy with how easy wood epox is to work with. I've worked with Bondo in the past to repair wood trim around my house. It has a much shorter working time. It has a very strong chemical smell. Wood epox doesn't smell like anything. And wood epox lasts a long time. It is recommended by historical restoration contractors. So I am happy with this product. I highly recommend it. If you have any questions about how to use this product or what I've done in the video, let me know in the comments below. I do try to answer them whenever I get a chance. And as always, good luck with your project, guys.